Hello. So, Gman made another video defending slavery. Gman is black, by the way.
That this is on my phone. When I do a live show using the computer, I'll give you a link to join. But I can't do it with my phone. I have to use a computer, and I'm not in a position right now where I can use a computer right now. But anyway, hello everybody, and welcome to GTV. I am Gman, your host. Psalms 14:1 says that the fool has said in his heart that there is no God, they are corrupt, and they have done abominable work. So if you hear me calling someone a fool in this particular video, it's not me being mean or being vindictive. The point of the matter is you got to be a fool.
That is a lie. That is Gman being mean and vindictive. It's Gman being an asshole.
To deny what's right in front of your face. And again, I'd like to welcome Brett Keene to GTV. I would have gave you the link to join, but again, I'm using my telephone, so it's kind of hard to send a link using my phone. But I am going to pose a question out there, and these atheists had better start getting ready to deal with this topic yet again. And that is, why is biblical slavery wrong?
Now, I could answer that in one sentence, but what fun would that be? Just know for the next 17 minutes and 15 seconds, this is going to be a black man defending slavery.
You've heard some of these answers. Well, biblical slavery is morally wrong because it doesn't benefit the slave owner or the slave. Of course, that's ridiculous because who can't benefit?
Okay, he's asked the question, why is biblical slavery wrong? And someone answered that question by saying it doesn't benefit the slave owner or not making sense.
From free labor. Who doesn't, and then if a slave wants to be a slave so that he has a roof over his head or that he has food to eat, clothes to wear on his back, how exactly does that not benefit the slave? I'll never know. Some of them say that biblical slavery is wrong because you can beat your slave as long as your slave doesn't die. And that's another intellectually dishonest answer because there's a lot of factors in that they're not taking into consideration. The great Matt Dillahunty tried to get me with that.
But I'm just going to let it keep playing on.
And he couldn't. And what Matt Dillahunty didn't understand that if you just read a little bit more as you're reading the scriptures, that if you beat your slave and that slave should die, then the master will be put to death, right?
Okay, G-Man, I would like you to give me just one documented case where a slave owner, and you want to be specific, so let's be specific. Give me one documented case where back in Bible days, where a slave owner beat his slave to death and he was then put to death. Give me just one documented case of that. Just one. Or I'll do a G-Man. Just one.
You're not even allowed. See, what a lot of people tend to forget regarding the whole Exodus 21 narrative is that they forget that Moses is telling the children of Israel what the law is going to be, what the national law was going to be. Call this the law of Moses. And they could not violate those laws. And what they won't tell you is that the slave master can be killed, for example, by the slave if the slave master works on the Sabbath. or he breaks one of the laws himself. Okay?
Again, G-Man, I'm pulling a G-Man. Give me just one documented case, just one, where a slave master was put to death because the slave tattletaled. Give me just one case of that. You can't, G-Man. You can't. Because I own you.
Atheists are like, well, that's not really slavery if that's the case. Well, let's keep going on here. Why is biblical slavery
That was a white voice. That's racist.
wrong? Is your morality objective or is it subjective? Oh, it's according to my own personal opinion.
Now, this is the bullshit where G-Man tries shoehorning in the belief in God, because if things are objective, for some reason, that means that God exists. And then if it's subjective, oh, that means it's just up to our own personal opinion. So if I think raping girls and murdering men is okay, well, then it's okay because it's subjective. Well, guess what? The people around me won't think that, and my ass will be in prison. You fucking idiot.
Well, is your personal opinion backed by facts or is it backed by your own personal opinion? And a lot of times when you're talking to atheists about this, it is based on their own personal opinion and nothing else. Why is biblical slavery wrong? They'll sit there and say you lose your autonomy. That's a stupid answer too, because you lose your autonomy every single time you sign a contract.
And that is not what we're talking about. You're being fucking dishonest, G-Man. You always talk about us being dishonest. We're talking about slavery. Okay, we're not talking about a job. We're not talking about a contract. We're not talking about NBA players. You always bring up that one. We're talking about slavery. Slavery, not a credit card debt, not paying rent, not paying for my food. We're talking about slavery. You're being dishonest from the pit of hell.
And you go into an agreement to not do something or not say something or to work for a period of time. We all lose our autonomy on a daily basis when we sign contracts. So it's stupid to sit there and say that the reason why slavery is wrong is because you lose your autonomy. They'll say, so I ask this question again, why is biblical slavery wrong? Well, your wife can be raped. That's why you can that's why biblical slavery is wrong. Wait a minute.
Hold on. Okay. So he asked the question again, why is biblical slavery wrong? Because your wife can be raped. That's what it's come to. You'll notice what G-Man said was, I'll ask them again. Okay. I'm guessing the way this has gone down is like, hey, why is biblical slavery wrong? Oh, because, like it's slavery. But then G-Man will press it again. Oh, well, because you're not given freedom. He'll press it again. Because you can rape people. Press it again. Because you can kill me. He'll put, it's G-Man pushing and pushing and pushing just to try making his racist point. Yes, G-Man, racist. You, black man, racist. Okay, you're saying I would join the KKK? G-Man, okay, you would join them, but they would hang you because of that dark skin.
If another man, if an Israelite owns you, and even if it's a foreign slave and they were to rape that woman against her will, and she is ravaged, according to the Mosaic law, he could be put to death. You are not allowed.
Again, G-Man, give me one documented case where a slave owner, I guess breaking rules, decided to rape one of his women slaves. And she went to the slave police, I guess. Okay. And then this slave owner was put to death. Give me one documented case. One.
allowed to do that in the land of Israel at that particular. You wasn't allowed to do that in Israel, and you can't do that as a Christian today. Rape is wrong, right?
You can't do it. Does that mean no one ever did it, G-Man? You never had are you saying that nobody back in Bible days said, I don't care, and I'm going to mistreat my slave? Are you saying that never happened, G-Man?
Right? Why is biblical slavery wrong? Well, you can tell a person to work without paying them. Well, duh. Why is that wrong as an atheist?
This motherfucker, okay? A black man's doing this. So tell me, why is a biblical slavery wrong? Oh, because you'll work without getting paid. Then a slave works without getting paid. Huh? Man, that's a really dismissive, very dismissive of you, G-Man. People working for nothing in the hot sun. Motherfucker.
Why is working without pay wrong as an atheist? Is biblical slavery wrong objectively or subjectively? If it is objectively wrong, then
that is G-Man shoehorning in. You have to believe in God again. If objective, whatever.
Then you are ultimately admitting that there are moral absolutes when you argue that way. If you're arguing that morality is simply subjective, then you are arguing that you have your point of view, they have their point of view, and there's no way you can say that it is wrong. There is no winning situation for an atheist on this particular topic. Biblical slavery is...
Never mind. Hold on. Play.
There is no winning situation for an atheist on this particular topic. Biblical slavery is not wrong. Biblical slavery is not immoral. Every argument made against biblical slavery depends on a person's emotions getting crazy and getting in the way of them making a sound, rational, logical decision about this particular.
Okay. Biblical slavery is not wrong. Biblical slavery is not immoral. And then something about your emotion. Let me rewind this.
On this particular topic, biblical slavery.
Okay. Now, should I be asking this to the audience or to G-Man? I guess both of you. Okay. G-Man, try to imagine that you are white and you are doing your street preaching or what I call yelling the Bible. But imagine you're white and that you are preaching this message out in the street. Okay? You're white and you're sharing this message.
Slavery is not wrong. Biblical slavery is not immoral. Every argument made against biblical slavery depends on a person's emotions getting crazy and getting in the way of them making a sound, rational, logical decision about this particular topic. Also,
now, G-Man, how many seconds do you think would pass before you get a giant black fist in your face? How many, especially the part about you let your emotions get involved and that clouds you from making a rational decision, and you just finished saying that. How many seconds until a huge right now, that's what I'm calling, that's how fast it would happen. A huge black fist right in the face. That should kind of be giving you a clue as to if you're fucking wrong in what you're saying. Okay. Think of think of white people. Okay. Would a white man say this? What would happen if a white man said this? And that should be your gauge as to if you're on the right track or not. A white man would get his ass fucking kicked. So I'm thinking there's a flaw in your thinking, G-Man.
There's the historical narrative of it. What a lot of these atheists are extremely uneducated about is that it wasn't just Israel that was having slaves at this particular time for particular reasons. There was a nation. There was Egypt, Canaan, Moab. There was the Jebusites, the Edomites. All these other nations practiced this as a means of restitution, punishment, or some illegal activity. The only time.
That is correct. Everyone had slaves. That is our savage history. Our ancestors were savages who thought this is okay to enslave people. We don't think that today, G-Man. We're more civilized. Well, some of us are more civilized.
Anytime we see that the Bible describing slavery as being immoral is when it is being done in a cruel, ungodly manner. You'll notice that atheists will go to Exodus 21, but they won't go to the first 2 chapters of the book of Exodus. And if you actually read it, you will see how the Egyptians treated the Israelites when they was in their land. They won't talk about that. They won't talk about the fact that in the land that in Egypt, the only reason that Israel became large in numbers and the king was paranoid that they would do an insurrection or join some other country to go into war with the land of Israel. I'm sorry, with the land of Israel to go to war with Egypt. That they decided that they was going to that they was going to enslave the Israelites and kill all of their firstborns. Atheists don't want to talk about that.
I don't even understand what he just said. Okay, people were going to war with other people and they were killing slaves, and we don't want to talk about them. That's exactly what they're talking about. How do you think you got slaves? You conquered people and killed them, and the ones that are alive, you kept them. What the fuck are you talking about? Look at that stupid face. God damn it.
They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the differences between the other nations and the nation of Israel because it doesn't suit their narrative. The only reason they care about biblical slavery is they believe that they can deconvert you. Particularly.
That is absolute bullshit. Okay. An atheist, he cares about biblical slavery because he's going to convert you. G-Man, you have a habit like this whole thing you always say about how the way atheists will try to convert you is like, first they'll try to be your friend, then they'll like be kind of mean to you, and then they'll just flat out make fun of you, and they do this to convert you. G-Man, that wouldn't work. If you were trashing me, okay, saying that whatever I believe in was stupid and I was retarded for believing it, that's not going to make me join you. If anything, that's going to for sure make me not join you. Like, you're a fucking idiot, dude. Like, that would never work.
African Americans. They paint God in this negative picture, saying that how come he didn't make laws saying that slavery was wrong?
Good question.
Universally speaking, slavery is not wrong. If you know something about the topic. If I say universally speaking across the board that slavery is wrong, then I got to include indentured servitude.
No, that's bullshit, G-Man. That's not what we're talking. We're not talking about indentured servitude. We're not talking about paying off a debt. We're not talking about a contract. No, we are talking about slaves. Slaves who do slavey stuff. and live slavey lives. That's what we're talking about. When you pull that shit, it's because you are desperately trying to defend it. A black man desperately trying to defend slavery.
That's stupid.
You're stupid.
Going into a contract. That's stupid.
I nailed it.
I could not say that.
Nailed it.
The Bible says, and this is what a lot of atheists don't understand, the Bible says that we were bought at a price. We were bought with a price. We were redeemed. We were bought back from the world, from the God of this world, Satan. They don't talk about these things. Okay? And if you were bought back, then that would insinuate at one point humanity.
Okay. We were bought with a price. Okay, Gman, you don't seem to understand the concept of a figure of speech. And I just saw something you did.
They don't talk about these things. Okay? And if you were bought back, then that would insinuate.
Okay, right there. If we were bought back. Okay, G-Man, when you do this, that actually changes what you're saying. You should look up what this means, okay? Like if I were to say G-Man is a ghetto ass fool. Okay. You understood what I said. Now, if I said G-Man is a ghetto ass fool, I'm actually saying something different. This actually means something. This will change the words that you're saying. Okay? Doing this, okay? I would explain it to you right now, but I'm not going to waste my time because I can't explain it.
At one point, humanity belonged to God. Satan got a hold of them, and Christ had to come and die for our sins so that we can be brought back into right standing with.
Christ had to come to die for our sins. I just changed the meaning of that, G-Man. Christ died for our sins so that the devil would give us back to God.
With God. Okay? They don't want to talk about that. That's why you can't say that slavery is wrong across the board. And I will go in a deeper Bible study in the future because a lot of these...
Slavery is wrong across the board. And I just said it because it is. Our savage ancestors who were animals, they didn't think so. But today we think so. So yeah, it is wrong across the board. Black man.
Atheists are insanely uneducated on this particular topic. Why is biblical slavery wrong? They believe it's wrong because it's equal or worse than that of the transatlantic slave trade, which is stupid. Because during the transatlantic slave trade,
this son of a... Never mind.
If your slave ran away and you caught them, you was free to basically murder them if you wanted. Cats and dogs had more rights than your slaves. You were treated in inhumane ways because white people thought that they were more evolved than black people were. They were considered the savage race.
Yeah, they were stupid.
Okay? So let's go on with this. Go read The Origin of Species, the full title of their favorite.
The Origin of Species. Yeah, that was a book written by some dude in the 1800s. No, I think 1800s. But it's not a textbook and not taught in school. Crack open a textbook.
Favorite racist book of evolution or whatever, right? Check this out. in the Bible, if a slave ran away, they were to go away free. If you was a Hebrew slave, because remember, they say that all slavery in the Bible is wrong.
It is.
Atheists don't even think about indentured servitude and all this other stuff.
That's not what we're talking about.
If the 6th year came or the year of Jubilee came, and it was time for your slave to go, you would actually give that slave gifts as they actually left. You couldn't cut their foot off if they ran away. You couldn't just beat them from any reason whatsoever. The only reason a slave would have been beaten in the Old Testament is if they broke the Mosaic law. Beckel has a phenomenal video on his channel.
The only reason a slave would have been beaten is if they broke the Mosaic law. What if there was a slave owner who was just an asshole and his slave pissed him off and he decided to beat the hell out of him? Could this slave report his master to someone? Could this slave go to the slave police and say, hey, my master beat the hell out of me? And then when the slave police come and they ask him, hey, what's this we're hearing about? The master's going to go like, oh, man, my slave is lying. You know, he's mad. He's lying. And then when they leave, that master's going to look at his slave and go, you're going to get it worse now. I'm guessing.
Channel. I have a video series on my Gman channel. GM.nice, I believe, has videos on his channel, I think. And then we got Christian Road Warrior, who I think talks about this topic. So a lot of black Christians, when you're talking about these things, and they try.
No black Christians are talking about this in a positive way, like you, G-Man. I'm a sellout. You're a fucking sellout. Okay. God damn, bro. Are you? Ooh. Oof.
They try to sit there and they try to say that me and Beckel are the only two talking about this. They are, again, a lot of these people here don't do no research regarding this particular debate. I'm going to be uploading an oldie but a goodie to this YouTube channel where we actually talked about this, where Beckel talked to an atheist about this, and we did an after show, and I thought it produced a lot of fruit, because during the Great Debate days, atheists were trying to convince the onlookers at the time that biblical slavery was wrong. There's only one way you can prove that biblical slavery is wrong. Well, two ways. You have to first and foremost read the Bible. That's number one, and then number two, you got to know what the heck you're talking about. Unfortunately, most atheists don't know a whole lot about biblical slavery. They just don't. If they did know a lot about biblical slavery, they wouldn't be on YouTube talking about it the way they do. It's just facts. It's just facts.
Actually, atheists don't go around talking about biblical slavery. They talk about it with you because you bring it up and you make the distinction. Unanimously, these atheists unanimously be like, oh yeah, slavery is wrong, man, and we put an end to that. You, G-Man, are the one. Well, are you talking about biblical slavery or the black people slavery? And then people who are hearing this for the first time will usually go like this. What?
So, why is biblical slavery wrong? What are the arguments? It's wrong for a human being to own another human being. And according to...
okay. I already know what's coming. This is where G-Man is going to... Look at that face. This is where G-Man's going to throw the stupid... Oh, atheists think we're animals. You own animals? So why can't you own slaves? A black man's going to make this argument. I'm calling it.
That is an atheism that said that a human being owning another human being is wrong. Oh, if you own another human being, it takes away from your autonomy. And I'm going to show you how to kill that dumb argument, right? What do atheists believe about human beings, ladies and gents? How many of you know this?
Here it comes.
What do atheists believe about human beings? They believe we are animals.
Nailed it.
This is what they believe. And that we share a common ancestor with other living animals that are walking on the earth.
I know
right?
G-Man like the back of my hand.
Different animal from from the other animals. This is what they teach on their YouTube platforms and what they try to argue when they talk to us. If I am an animal, then is it wrong for me to own a cat or a dog? Then you begin to see the problems with their thinking. If they believe, and a lot of them do own cats and dogs, if you think an animal can own an animal, then how is slavery wrong? Are human beings animals or what? That's a
Fine. Okay. Atheists believe we are animals. And if we're okay with owning animals, then why is slavery wrong? Fine. You, Gman, do not believe we are animals. You believe we are above animals. So, what is your excuse? We are not animals. We are above animals. What's your excuse for saying slavery is okay? I can play this game too. I just destroy your argument. Yeah. Yeah.
the fastest way to kill that nonsense if you're talking to an atheist about whether or not it's wrong for a human being to own another human being as property. If you own a goldfish, that means you're saying that you're immoral. If you
nope. They're not. No, you're saying that. If I say a lie, I'm not saying I'm immoral. If I say I've stolen something, I'm not saying I'm immoral. I'm just saying that I've lied and I've stolen something. Welcome to something called life, bro.
Cat or a dog, I don't care how well you treat it. If you truly believe that slavery is wrong, open your door and let your animals go free right now. And do not let them come back in your home. Let them roam free. Argue against zoos. There should not be any zoos. Animal testing.
You know what? There's actually a video. Gman was talking about this very subject, and I was in the hangout with him, and I didn't know what the title. I'll put it in the description or something like that. But the title was something about like are zoos immoral or something like that. I think that was the title of it. So I don't know what point he was trying to make, but I mean, you want to see a man struggle to make his point, because again, I had no idea what he was what he was going for, but I was honest in my answers to him. He asked me, is it wrong to own pets? I told him, yeah, it is. The fact that we own animals is wrong. The fact that zoos exist is wrong. These animals are in a prison. This is wrong. Animal testing, this is wrong. But it happens. Okay? We have pets. I love my pets. But in the big picture, it's wrong. And again, I didn't know what point he was trying to make. I was just answering his question. And boy, he got pissed off because I wasn't giving him the answers he wanted. But whatever.
Testing needs to stop. Like, you really need to hear the stupid stuff that's coming out of your mouth sometimes. When you're sitting there and you're saying that human animals owning other animals is wrong. Because remember, you claim that human beings are animals. That's what you believe. You believe that an animal owning another animal is wrong.
But that's not what you believe, G-Man. You don't think we're animals. So how do you defend it? I'm going with your worldview. We're not animals. We're special. We're above animals. Now, how do you defend us being slaves?
Is biblical slavery wrong?
Yes.
Why is biblical slavery wrong? Somebody in the live chat, you give me your best argument. Why is biblical slavery wrong?
Okay. I'm already bored, so I'm not going to listen to the rest of it. But I'll answer the question. Why is biblical slavery wrong? Why is biblical slavery wrong? It's wrong because of the second word. Biblical slavery. Why is biblical slavery wrong, Gman? Why is it wrong? It's not because you are someone's property. It is not because you take away someone's freedom. It is not because you can rape your slaves. It's not because you can abuse them. No. Biblical slavery is wrong because it makes a person a slave. That is why it's wrong. Okay? Slavery in all forms is wrong because it makes a person a slave. That is why it's wrong. Now, knowing this motherfucker, he's going to say, well, what's wrong with being a slave? A black man will ask that. A black man. What's wrong with being a slave? If I said that, I would get 3 giant black fists in my face. But I'm not going to listen anymore because I'm bored. And it's 1:57 a.m. Ooh. Stop this. Stalling for time. Damn it, I was trying to think of a funny zinger to end this episode on. Damn it, I couldn't think of anything.
You stupid ass nigga.
Oops. I meant to push this.